So we've got two methods of grinding, the electric and the handheld. And with this one, it'll tell us if we grind that much, we've got enough for 1 cup and for 2 cup. We can adjust the grind. If we want espresso, cafetiere or Chemex, we can adjust it accordingly on the size of the grind. On the electric grinder, all it is just a touch of a button, and within seconds we've got instant ground coffee. Now, as Rich was saying, this is perfect for going traveling, going on a bike ride. It's portable. This, not so much so.
This is one for the home, definitely. And this is, if you get a good hand grinder and you look after it, keep it clean, and also like this one here has a thing on the side that shows you the correct level of grind. It can make life really easy and make your coffee great when you're out and about.
It's important to know as well how much you're grinding. So for the AeroPress, we're looking for 14 grams. So 14 grams of beans. So if we're going out on a bike ride, knowing that we've got a certain amount of beans to put in our grinder, that's going to give us the right amount of coffee for the purpose. And the same for any of the other brew methods, be it cafetiere, Chemex, whatever.
Do we have to worry about losing some beans in the grind, getting stuck in the grinder?
Yeah, it's important. If you think we need the full 14, 15 grams of coffee for the AeroPress, less than that, we're not going to get the full flavour. More than that, it's going to throw the taste. So it all comes down to the specifics, the variables again, that word that keeps them coming up.
Be exact.
Absolutely.
Be exact on when you're weighing out your coffee.
Yeah. And also remembering, we talked about which grind as well. Grit, sand, flour, and in between. So knowing which grind we're looking for just by touch. So again, the barista sensors. So touching it, knowing that once we ground it, does that feel okay? Yeah, okay. Might be slightly off, might be slightly too coarse, slightly too fine, but as long as it's pretty much what we're looking for, then it'll be fine.
And when you get to the electric grinder stage, once you've got your settings right after a few tries, it should always come out the same.
Absolutely. But it's worth mixing it up. As you said earlier, maybe by making it a little bit coarser or a bit finer, it will change the flavour of the coffee. So if you're happy with how it's tasting, great, but it's good to experiment.
And I'm just going to show you with the hand grinder, this is not unusual. You have to put some effort in, and it can take a while. So you have to put some effort in. It can take a while, but it's worth it. And it's a good little workout, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But compared to what the electric grinder does, touch of a button.
Here we go.
Done. And one of my favourite things actually in coffee is after it's ground, just take a big inhale.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, that's one of the real treats in coffee. You should reward yourself with that moment. Have a good sniff of the coffee. And actually, Henry, I want to ask you, just before you grind all of that.
I'm going to be here for a while.
You are. Put that back on.
So we're looking, once you have ground, you are looking for that smell. If you haven't got that lovely aroma coming off, then the beans are stale. So they obviously haven't been kept in an airtight container. So that's really important to keep the freshness.
How close to, can I grind that a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
All right. How close to brewing the coffee should you grind the coffee? Will it make a massive difference? Because as soon as you grind it, you start losing the freshness and you're going to sort of fall off a flavour cliff, aren't you?
Yeah, flavour cliff, I like that. So for an espresso machine, if we're grinding coffee for our espresso machine, you've got about 15, 17 minutes of freshness before it starts going stale.
So as soon as you ground it, about 15 to 17 minutes?
Yeah, basically. I mean, you can buy pre-ground coffee, but it's remembering keeping that lid on it. So it's kind of like the analogy of taking a can of fizzy pop, opening it in the morning, got that cool, sugary, nice flavour. Come back to it in the afternoon, what have you got?
Flat, syrupy.
Yeah, exactly. I know which one I prefer.
So now you know about grinding and how different grinds can really affect the output and extraction of your coffee. The different methods we've talked about, the hand grinder and the electric grinder as well. Now, each manufacturer has different settings. So for example, this hand grinder, you take off the lid and you adjust it inside. With an electric grinder, one built for coffee grinding like this, you will have different settings that you adjust accordingly. Get used to using them. A cheap alternative that I often use at home is a spice grinder. So the key to that is just to make sure that you're constantly aware of how fine your grind is getting. And any tips for coffee grinding?
Yeah, make sure you've cleaned out the spice grinder, Rich, before you use it. You know, chilies, curry powder, that kind of thing.
That's a very good point. And actually, you should always make sure that whenever you're grinding fresh coffee, whatever is left, take it out.
Absolutely.
Take it out.
Yeah. Stale beans is going to affect the flavour at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we're looking for ultimate freshness.
Consistency and quality.